In this next step, we're going to find keywords that people would be using to find mugs like the ones that we're going to be selling. We're going to look for the types of search phrases that people would type in order to find these mugs and t-shirts and whatever else you decide to sell. I mentioned in another video, but if you're going on a site like Amazon that has thousands and thousands of listings, if you just randomly put in a product, it's going to be really hard for people to find you. So we need to figure out the search terms, and once we have that, then we can use that information to our advantage and do certain things to get ranked higher so that when someone types that phrase in on Amazon, our products are going to be some of the first ones that they see. And I'm going to show you all about how to do that later on when I show you how to list on Amazon and Etsy in different places. But for now, know that this is definitely important. And the reason why we do it first is because when you list a product, you list the keywords at the same time that you list the product. If we find the keywords after we list the product, then we're going to do all the work to list it, go find the keywords, and then have to go back in and edit the listing later on. So it's just going to be a pain, and it's just more efficient to do the keywords first. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can find keywords. There are automated tools, and then you can do it manually. I'm going to go over a couple different ways that you can do this, and you just pick whatever works the best for you. The first option is to go and manually check for keywords. Usually I just use Amazon for this, so let me take you over there and I'll show you what I mean. If you've shopped on Amazon before, you've probably noticed that when you start to type in certain search terms, they'll start to auto-populate, and you can see as Amazon starts to identify what it is that you might be looking for. For example, if I start to type in knitting, we can see here people are looking for knitting needles, knitting machine, and it's really auto-populating with things that people are searching for, which is really good information for us. Now, if I start to type in knitting mug, let's see what comes up. I'm actually not seeing anything, which is good. So that's going to give me information. So now I can see if I do knitting coffee cup is something that people are searching for. So that's something that we can put in. If we do coffee knitting, let's see if anything comes up there. Nope. Coffee mug knitting, coffee mug knit. These are different things that people are putting in. I might do something like funny knitting and see what comes up. Funny knitting gifts is a good one. Funny knitting mugs. Perfect. So now we have 5 different words. And on Amazon, when you're listing products there, that's how many you're allowed to have, is 5. So now that we have 5 keywords, if you wanted to go through and see if there were more relevant keywords and play around, you'd be welcome to. But for now, we'll just pick these 5 keywords. This is going to be a really great start for putting in as our search terms, and then also we're going to be using this information for when we list our items. What I usually like to do is identify the most important keyword first. So that could either be the one with the most search terms, or it could be the one that's the most niched. So it's what people would definitely be typing in. So for example, if I had a funny knitting mug, funny knitting mugs would probably be the best keyword to start with because it's going to be the most relevant. Now, I personally use a tool that tells me the search volume for each search. So I tend to go for the ones that I see have higher search volumes or have some search volume and they're long tail. But if we're just doing this manually now, which is totally fine, you just kind of have to use your best judgment. The other thing you can do if you want to get more information is you can put in each of these keywords. So for example, first I'll put in knitting coffee cup. You don't need to do this. I mean, it's probably overthinking a little bit, but just if you want to have a little bit more accurate data, you would put in each keyword, just open up the first 3 for each one. And then on Amazon, you're going to see a bestseller ranking for each product. Scroll down here, you can see the bestseller ranking on this is 99,971, and number 1 is the best rank on Amazon. Here we have 103,000, and sometimes products don't have any rank because they're not selling at all. So these are not necessarily great, but at least they're getting sales. This one's 328,651. Now, if we try another keyword, let's try the funny knitting mugs. We can open those and see the sales ranking. Well, that's not exactly the most relevant, so let's open this one instead. Okay, and then we'll scroll down here. This one doesn't appear to have any bestseller ranking. Neither does that one. and this one's 174,000. If I were searching between just knitting coffee cup and funny knitting mugs, and I'm looking and I'm seeing that when I'm searching for these different keywords, the knitting coffee cup has more sales, or the items on there have better bestseller rankings, that's the one that I would start with when I'm going through and choosing my best keywords. This definitely takes a little bit longer than if you were using an automated tool, but if you just want to try this out first, make sure that you get sales on different places before you invest more money. It's a totally viable option, and it's exactly what I did until I started making money and seeing a return on investment. The tool that I use is over at rachelrofay.com/AMZ, and I personally really like it for a couple reasons. First, it's really awesome at finding keywords. You can find all sorts of different keywords, some that you might not have even thought of. And it also gives you the search volume for those different keywords. It'll tell you how many times people are searching for those items. It's also really good for getting reviews on your products. Most of my products don't have reviews on them, just so you know. I mean, there's only probably like 4 of them out of, now I have a little bit over 100 products up that have reviews. So you don't need them, but if you really want to turbocharge and you're getting super pumped and you're seeing results, then this is really fantastic for the reviews as well. I'm going to go over and show you how to use that now. The way this works is you add products on AMZ Tracker. So you just hit add product and then you put the URL of your product or the ASIN number, which is a number on every Amazon listing, but the URL is totally easy to do. And then you just hit add products. From there, you click on the item and then you can hit the plus sign to add potential keywords. If you already have keywords and you want to see how much search volume you have, you would just put them in. So for boyfriend or whatever, you just put them in and then hit add keywords. And then it takes anywhere from like 2 minutes to sometimes 5, maybe a little bit longer. And after that, it'll come back, AMZ will come back and it'll tell you how much search volume each of your different keywords has. For example, this one, I see the term luckiest guy in the world has a volume of estimated 210 monthly Google searches a month. So that would be a keyword that I would use. Luckiest guy in the world mug, approximately 10 searches a month. Luckiest guy in the world boyfriend mug has 0, so this is one that I would not try to use in the title. Then it just goes on. This one, boyfriend gifts, has 27,100 searches a month, and so that might be something that I would potentially use in the product as well. Now the other thing is, if you haven't started with keywords, maybe you have one luckiest guy in the world or something, from there you could go and click on keyword research. You would choose the product that you have listed, and then it's going to auto-populate with all the keywords you have, and then you just click generate suggestions, and it's going to give you more possible ideas of things that you could use in your keyword listing. So for this one, like luckiest guy in the world cup would be good, luckiest guy. So I'm just going to pick things that looks like they may make sense. Boyfriend gifts from girlfriend, best boyfriend gifts, funny boyfriend gifts, cute boyfriend gifts, and then we can either seed from those keywords, which means if we could try luckiest guy in the world cup and then generate suggestions based off of that term, or we can move them over to the keyword list and we could start getting the search volume for that. I'll show you what it looks like to seed as well. So we have luckiest guy in the world cup. I'm going to hit generate suggestions. So that's how that works. Now the other cool thing about this particular feature is it also tracks your ranking for specific keywords. For example, you can see luckiest guy in the world, I'm number 1 for, and best boyfriend mug, I'm number 60. So I'm not getting very seen on this one, so that's not really so great. But I'm also number 1 for luckiest guy in the world mug, luckiest guy in the world boyfriend mug. And this is one where, especially around Valentine's Day, it sold a ton, and so I ended up making a bunch, ordering a bunch, and then sending them over to Amazon and using their Fulfilled by Amazon program, which means that they actually ship out the products on our behalf. So we don't even need to worry about placing orders or anything, because a lot of people do love shopping via Amazon Prime, where they can get the super fast shipping because things are already at Amazon's fulfillment center. This isn't something I would mess with until you get a lot of sales of something, because then you're going to have to pay up front and there's going to be a little bit of risk and there's more fees, but it is something that I'll make a video on and you can just kind of see how to do it if it is something that you're interested in. I guess I should also show you that there's a graph as well for each keyword. The graph will show you how your keywords have been ranking over time. So if you're doing anything to try to get higher in the search engine rankings, you can see if your efforts are paying off. I don't really spend a lot of time on making anything more optimized until I see that I'm getting some kind of result, because again, I'm trying to make this as passive as possible. If you are actively working on different things and you want to try, then you have this. The other cool thing about this particular tool is there is a on-page analyzer. And so when you click that, it goes through every product that you have and it'll tell you all the different things that you can do to get higher search engine rankings. We're also going to talk about some of those in a video later on in the Amazon section. So that's AMZ. The pricing, by the way, for that is anywhere between $50 a month to $400 a month. And then there's a trial that you can use if you want to just play with it and see how it works. And also you could totally just start with the $50 option, see how it goes, and then move up from there once you start getting more return on investment. The next tool is Merchant Words. I haven't used this tool in a really long time, but it's another tool that will help you find search volume for specific keywords. I'm inside Merchant Words, I just logged in, and I'm going to show you if I type in something like funny knitting mug, it says that it has 0 results. All right, let's try knitting, see what comes up. Okay, so when I do knitting here, it shows me more keywords like knitting knit is 800 searches a month, knitting board, twice knit knitting. Let me try knitting mug and see if anything comes up. Knitted mug, knitting mug less than 100, knit mug 1500, but that could be because we have that knitting example. Let me try cheerleading mug. Okay, cheerleader mug less than 100, cheerleading mugs less than 100, cheerleading shirt. Okay, or you could do something like funny mug and then see what comes up from there. Funny mugs, 84,000. Funny engineer mugs, less than 100. Funny insulated mug. Funny mug for sister. So this can give you some ideas as well. And then that's going to let you know the types of things people are searching for. You can see it's a little bit limited, especially on terms that don't get searched that often. So I don't love it, but if you wanted to use it as a cheaper option, I think the basic option is $30 a month now. I got in when it began. Oh, maybe it, yeah, I think it's $30. I think I have the $15 because I had signed up for something at one point. I would say if you're going to pay for anything, $20 more a month, you can get AMZ. Personally, I think it's significantly better, but you can do as you like. One thing I want to say with the keywords though is sometimes less is more. So you can use 5 keywords on Amazon, but you don't necessarily need to. When you have 5 keywords, you're going to be spreading your efforts across 5 different things. But if you have only 3, then those 3 are going to get more attention and you may be more likely to get ranked for those specific phrases. So sometimes less is more, so don't feel like you need to get 5 keywords. Now the other thing is Amazon keywords are usually all you need. Even if you're going to go take your products and post them on Etsy and eBay, you can still use the same keywords because as you noticed, because you may have noticed in AMZ Tracker, it's using Google searches for the data. The types of keywords that people are typing in on Amazon are very likely the same types of things they'd be searching on other sites because they're usually buying type keywords. Funny knitting mug, something like that. You can of course go and check. For example, if you're on Etsy and you want to start typing in phrases and see what auto-populates, you're welcome to double check on each one. Usually I want to keep it as simple as possible, so I just do the Amazon and then do the same thing across all of my other listings. All right, hope this helps on finding keywords. Don't worry about getting the perfect keywords or anything like that. If you get some things with some search volume, it's perfect, and then we can always optimize and tweak later, but really the name of the game is keep it as simple as possible. All right, let's head over to the next video.